Hello everyone, welcome to this class. Today we are gonna see cognitive theory in language acquisition. So for this theory we have two authors. The first one is Chomsky and the second one is Harmer. So what is a cognitive theory? Cognitive theory, like its name mentioned, it's a process in our brain. We are humans and we have the ability or capability to use a mental process to know a language. Okay, it's a challenge to traditional behaviorism views. For example, behaviorism is memorization and repetition, and Omar mimicry. But in this case, Chomsky said no, it's not just like that to acquisition a language. We have a brain, we have a process mental that we can use to learn a new language. So Chomsky criticized all behaviors like I mentioned because we have limitation on mimicry, time constraints, and creative language use. Limitations on mimicry. And like I mentioned, it's like we just know learn only mimicry and memorization. We have a process and we have to create new sentences that we never heard before, you know? And time constraints. In this case, for memorization or repeating sentences, we have a lot of time. We have to start blah 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 to our brain acquire these sentences. But in this case, no, in this case is more natural. It's more like our creativity. Okay? And the last one, creativity, language use. Behaviorisms limit your creativity because it's you hear, you need to repeat it. Your brain process all the information and give you more ideas. For example, we can use a simple rule in grammar, a simple present. You have subject, verb, and complement. Susan eats pizza. Okay, but what happens if you don't wanna Susan eats pizza? Or or Susan eats, I don't know, spaghetti or something like that. Is all of your creativity connect with that sentences. We just have a limitation with behavioral theory. Students can create a lot of sentences, uses a lot of vocabulary that they wanted. The benefits that have using this methodology or this theory to acquire a new language. In this case, it's conscious learning. That is mean like you can understand the rules and structure of the language, rule-based generation, that like I mentioned with example. You can know the sentence and or the structure of the sentence and you can add more information and you can know that. Principle of creativity, that theory wants to the students produce novel language, forms and patterns. It's all about your imagination, your creativity to connect words with just with a simple structure. And cognitive control is like students have to control over the language and know how to connect all of those rules to generate their own language and can communicate. Okay, now we are gonna go with another author that is Jeremy Harmer. This theory or this perspective is from known to unknown. Okay, we have three steps here. The first one is familiarization with rules, control practice, and application in real communication. Okay, we're gonna go with the first one, familiarization with rules. In this case, is like a diagnostic test. We have a structure in our brain like subject, verb, and object, and complement, and we have to start to foundation a new knowledge or combination the things that we know with the things that we unknown. Okay, the second one is control practice. In this case, is follow the rules. It means subject, verbs, object, but you can change with your own subject, your own verb, and your own complement. Okay? And it's like combination the words and application in real communication. For example, you can um, start with the topic simple present. You know the rules, and you can go with your partner and express your own ideas and start talking with your partners or with your partner and share more details with your own vocabulary. It's a practice in real life. Okay? Linking player knowledge to new learning. In this case, we have mental set establishment, scaffolding techniques, and cognitive bridges. It's well because we have the activating prior knowledge and connections between existing knowledge and new information that the Terry Harmer mentioned. The second one is scaffolding techniques, that is include brainstorming sessions, pre-reading, discussions. It's like the activities that you can do with your students to develop those abilities for acquire new vocabulary, new rules, or something like that. And cognitive bridges. That means that the bridge like known and the bridge that you unknown like this, and people can assimilate new information easily. Okay? And now, language as an active problem solving process. I mentioned promote activities, reflects how language operates, helps to the students understand the underlying mechanisms. Problem solving task, that means like you can talk with your students and give some problems to your students solve it. Can analyze science patterns, or in text, for example, you can put a paper and your students can read and read and read and read, and later they just generate that is complex or difficult grammar, or they can create new words or sentences. Tier one, inductive and deductive approaches. That means like inductive, when students discover the rules. For example, you can put a text that contains a lot of future, will, going to, or something like that. And your students say, okay, if I have this subject, we use that auxiliary. That is inductively. And deductively is where rules are explicitly taught. You can teach with examples, or your students can realize, just notice in their papers. And cognitive strategies. Students empowers because they know how to improve their creativity using words and connect them, and the vocabulary of them start to increase a lot. Impact on teaching methodologies, that is how or this methodology impact in our society. The first one is cognitive academic language learning approach, and teach with explicit text or something like that, like the method inductive and deductive approach. The second one is task-based language teaching, promote language learning, applying with cognitive theories, increase their form to solving problems, okay? And use these solving problems in which situation in their real life. Another context and language integrate learning that combines content learning with language acquisition. connect the knowledge that you had with the knowledge that you will acquire. And the last one, communicative language teaching, focus on meaningful communication and problem solving in authentic context. Okay, and the last paragraph, I'm gonna read it. That said, like, although Chomsky cognitive theory didn't not lead to a specific teaching methodology, its principle have significantly influenced various approach to language teaching. These methodologies reflect key aspects of cognitive theory, such as the importance of conscious learning, problem solving, and the creative use of language in meaningful context. Okay, so that methodologies is not just based on Chomsky theory, but is connected with cognitive theory. That I mentioned at the beginning is a process in our brain, mental process. Okay, so that is all for today. I hope you understand this theory. So bye bye. Let's see the next class.